Jai Gurudev, welcome again. So, I have something to tell you. Nothing really happened today, but yesterday night some funny thing happened. You see, yesterday I was out of quarantine, so I went walking around a bit, and as we were walking, so I went to the temple, and of course I went to visit the Babaji cave, where the museum for the saint, of India have been kept. So I was looking at all the relics which have been collected, because I like to. Very often I go around and look around, check everything properly. If Swami Keshava, which is in charge of the Saint Museum, have kept everything proper. So as I was going around, there was one corner which very intrigued me, to watch. And that corner was the unknown saint's relic. So I was drawn towards that. And I went to this unknown saint relic, and I was looking, maybe I recognized some of the relic, and I said to Swami Keshava who they are. So as I was looking, I saw a big, well-packed clothes, very nicely, neatly packed, and it was written, unknown saint relic. I was looking at that robe, I was looking at that clothes. I said, that clothes looked very familiar to me. And I was wondering, where did I see this clothes? Then I asked Swami Keshava, please, can we open this cloth? So, when we open the cloth, actually it is this cloth which I'm wearing right now. It is a cloth which a devotee from Kenya have sent in January with Swami Parantapa, together with one shirt. And I said, how can you think that this is an unknown relic? Actually, I have not even wear this clothes. I said, yes, there was no name, and I got it with the bag, with the relic. Somehow that bag was, in January when we came back from India, the bag of the saint relic was with me. So this clothes was put there by mistake, and Swami Keshava thought, okay, this is also a relic, but don't know whose name it is. When I saw that, we had a really great laugh, actually. So I'm wearing this cloth because the devotee asked me in Vrindavan, did you find this clothes? And I think Swami Parantapa asked me. And I said, yes, it's in Germany. But I didn't know what it went to do. It will already go into the Saint Museum, So that was funny. So another thing you see, at the beginning of, when I came back from India, we were thinking, Drishti was thinking about, and Jagopal and the rest was thinking to start darshan, online darshan. They were asking me how we will do it. And I think soon we will start to have darshan online also. You see, for the master it's not a problem, whether you are wherever you are into the world, So to have that. So I've been talking with the media team, how we will do it. So energetically, that is not that's not a problem. So that's what we've been today discussing about. So I'll ask Jagopal to ask your question.
Jai Gurudev Guruji, when we play an instrument, sing or dance, how do we ensure that we are coming from a place of servitude to Guru and God and not from a place of pride? And how do we avoid pride arising in the first place?
You see, the whole aim of you playing an instrument or singing, what is the aim of that? You see, when you're singing, for example, just for your pleasure, for your happiness, and you are playing an instrument that you feel proud about what you are doing, of course that come from a place where the ego is exalted, you know. So you're doing it for pleasing yourself. How long does that happiness last? It doesn't last for a long time. So when you are singing in bhajan, for example, and when you are playing an instrument for the sake of pleasing the Lord Himself, it's a different attitude itself. So into that, you completely forget about yourself. You see, when you are singing, when you see somebody is singing and dancing for the Lord, he's not thinking, how am I dancing? You see, in the temple here or in Darshan or wherever, you see people dance all kind of dance, you know. But they are not thinking about themselves. So they are absorbed of saying, yes, I'm singing for the sake of the Lord. I'm not thinking, yes, now I will sing like this and God will be happy. The moment you think like that, then it is I, you know, I am singing. It is how I'm singing, you know, what I am singing, you know. So this changed the whole thing. But when a devotee sings, the devotee don't think. Of course, the devotee have to practice. Of course, you can't just sit there and start singing like a frog. You know, you are not a frog. You know? So if you want to please the beloved Lord, you know, you have to train yourself and sing in a nice way also. This is your seva. This is your what you bring forth towards the Lord. So you want Him not to have an ear problem, you know. You want to please Him, you know. Imagine you start singing and He have to put His hand on His ears, blocking His ears. Said, oh my goodness, it's beautiful, I appreciate your devotion, but it is painful for my ears. So it's a different mode. It reminds me, you know, there was a lady who lived in Switzerland, a very rich lady. And that lady, you know, she will have gala party in her place. And she, I can't remember her name, but she will sing. And she was not good at all. But everybody will clap their hand and everybody will praise her. Yay, you sing so nicely, so wonderfully, you know, because they all want a favor from him, from her. And she was rich, she was well known. And of course, she will sing, you know, and she was proud of her singing. But no one ever told her that she was not singing nicely. And she was killing the ears of the people. They have to run away. You know? So I don't think, you know, Bhagwan will appreciate what you're giving to him, even if it is like a frog you're singing. But from your point of view, when you want to please somebody, you give the best of yourself. You know? Because for whom are you doing it? You're doing it to please him. So inside of your mind when you're singing, you're not thinking about yourself, you're thinking about him. So a devotee, when he's singing bhajan, he's playing music or he's dancing in the tune, you know, is to please the Lord himself. Not his own ego or her own ego. So this is a different. When one sings for one's own pride, you know, one is so well aware of every moment, how am I singing? You know, even when they are there, am I singing right or wrong? I'm singing this tune proper or not, you know. But the devotee don't, you know, the devotee train themselves and they pour out their heart to the beloved Lord, you know, to please the one to whom they are singing. So it's not about watching oneself or judging oneself. It's about for whom, what is your aim in singing? You're singing for yourself, to please him, or you are singing to please him only, not singing to please yourself firstly, then him. So, like I said to you, when you sing, you give your best into it. It's like a child, when a child is singing. Of course, a child, when they sing, whatever they hear, they will just sing it out. But they are singing without thinking. Yesterday somebody sent me a beautiful YouTube where a child is reading the Bhagavad. And the child was just saying whatever word, was coming from her mouth, it was just saying, and at the end she took the Bhagavatam and she was going around, But this is a different innocence in itself, because the child, whatever the child hears, like I said yesterday, what the parent have taught the child took from the parents. So, like that, you see. But it is in pure innocence. The same way, you see, when it is devout of your mind itself, even if you're singing not in the right way or the right tune or whatever, Bhagavan will appreciate it, because that devotion which you are singing, with that love that you are singing, that's what he longed for. He don't long for the word. He don't long for how much you're praising him, with beautiful words and all this stuff. Many people praise him with beautiful words. But that words of praise doesn't reach him. Because if that word of praise doesn't have that longing and the love inside of it, it don't, make any effect. It doesn't have any power in itself. But if that longing, when you're singing, you're dancing, you're playing music, whatever you're doing in life, if it have that longing and that yearning for him, that love for him, and what it is for him, what you're doing it, in your daily life, whatever you do, you're doing it for him. You're singing for him. So when this becomes clear for you, then you will see that come to him. Take me, for example. I'm not a great singer. I have never learned music. I have never learned how to sing. Whatever I listen, I sing. Sometimes there is mistake into it. Sometimes it's beautiful. I don't know. But I sing for him. So like that, people should open up their heart and pour it for the Lord, and sing for him. Always knows whatever you do, dancing, singing, music, whatever in life you do, it is to attain him.
Dear Guruji, my spiritual path in the Vaishnava tradition started in ISKCON. Now I am your devotee. Please answer, who is Radha and is she Lakshmi? And who is more supreme, if it is possible to even say like this?
Actually, you see, in the Sri Sampradaya, for example, you see, we don't have Radha as an aspect. When we talk about, in the Sri Sampradaya, we talk about Rukmini and Satyabhama. And Radha, when we look, for example, you see, it comes later with Jayadev Goswami. In Gita Govinda, Jayadev Goswami wrote about Radha. This is the first time Radha's name was mentioned. But in Bhagavad, of course, there is Aradhana. That word Aradhana symbolizes bhakti, devotion. But not just superficial bhakti, not just superficial devotion, but single-pointed minded devotion. A devotion without any equal to it. And this is Aradhana. This is Radha itself. So whoever come to that state, of consciousness, they rise above, then Radha awake inside of them. Aradhana awake inside of them. That devotion, a single pointed mindedness awake inside of them. So this is the point of view, but in South India, there is no temple for Srimati Radharani. But you see, everybody have their own understanding of things, you know. It can be that devotion is pictured in the form as Srimati Radharani. Like often, you see, when we look at in Hinduism, all the divinity, you know, all the saints who incarnate, very often they are aspect of the Lord Himself. You know, some incarnate as the sword of the Lord incarnate, or the Sudarshan Chakra of the Lord incarnate, or the Gada incarnate, or any aspect of the Lord incarnate. Let's say. So you see, it's not that Radha doesn't exist. For sure, maybe she exists, but in Bhagavad it's not mentioned that she exists. You know, but there is a story, you know, in Bhagavad itself, Canto 10, where there is one of the gopi, which is mentioned that she had a special relationship to Krishna, and she served Krishna in a very special way. Her name is not mentioned, but they knew that she was the daughter of Vishabhanu. So they used to call her Vishabhanuja. So Vishabhanuja, from that, you see, as you know very well, then Radha's father was Vishabhanu. So on that context, Srimati Radharani is there. And serving Krishna in a special way. Who else will serve Krishna in a special way if it is not her? So you see, throughout history, many things have been changed, you know. So also Vishabhanuja become Srimati Radharani. And second part of the same question, whether Radharani is Mahalakshmi. You see, to be near to the Lord, of course we know that Mahalakshmi, in her incarnation during Krishna's time, she incarnated as Rukmini. Now Rukmini Maharani was the incarnation of Mahalakshmi. But Mahalakshmi had many aspects of herself. You see, it's not one aspect, you know. So we have Ashtalakshmi itself, you know, which 8 aspects of Mahalakshmi, which manifest into the 8 aspect of the queen also. But does she have only 8 aspects? She has a multitude of aspects, you know. So to be with the Lord, of course, Srimati Radharani is also an aspect of Mahalakshmi. So next to Sriman Narayana, there's always Lakshmi. In all incarnation, whenever you see, there were no other. When she come in the form of Sita, she come in the form of she come in the form of Srimati Radharani. For sure, there is an aspect of her also into her. So like that potential, that potency of her did manifest also there. So.
Jai Gurudev Guruji, is it wrong to be attracted and attached to your physical form? Also, is it possible that your Giridhariji could give us his darshan? We all miss him.
Sorry, if it is wrong to be attached to the physical form.
To your physical form.
Well, you see, this physical form one day it will go away. So, of course, as much as you can be attached to it, you have to bear in mind, but it is not permanent. So whenever a master comes, of course, you see, if you have found your master in your life, you have to consider that as the most important thing. So it's not about, If you are not attached to your master, who would you attach? You would not attach to somebody else master. Your master, your teacher, your guru is yours. Of course you have to be attached to your guru. And also one thing you have to bear in mind, that guru is not the same as normal people. So the aspect of the guru is also similar to the aspect of the divine itself. So attachment to the guru and attachment to the divine, in a form itself, is not the same as being attached to the worldly aspect of the outside. They say because guru don't come. They say especially Sadgurus don't come on earth whenever the people come. No, there must be there must be a aim for that. When the aim is that, then Bhagavan said, in chapter 4 himself, he said, I come into this world for the sake of my devotee. When he said in chapter 4, verse 7 and 8, Yada Yada Hi Dharma Shir, one of the most famous verses, whenever there is uprightness, and the uprising of unrighteousness, I incarnate myself. So it is not just something which just happened like that, But for what does one incarnate itself, So for the upliftment of righteousness, to destroy the wickedness, and to save dharma. Then I come forth into this world, I take a form. So Bhagavan, which is the Supreme Lord, which dwell into this, in everything, he manifests, like yesterday I was saying, So if he have created the whole vast of universes, and he have created the earth with colors, forms and everything, do you think he can't take a form for himself? So, but that form which he takes for himself have a specific purpose itself. That specific purpose is to bring that righteousness again. Because you see, that righteousness which people have forgotten about, you see, they forget about their true aspect, they forget about their true identity. So when your true identity, you forget about it, being parcel of the divine itself, then a reminder, the teacher will come. Bhagavan Krishna came, and of course many masters have come as a reminder of reminding their people of who they are. It's nothing to do with the master. The master have come in full realization. It's not like a teacher who have learned something and then said, okay, I have learned something, then I want to give you something. No, an incarnation is different. A descent is different, let's call it like that. No, a descent is different. It comes with its full knowledge of everything. It's come as a reminder of humanity itself. So being attached to that principle and really understand that you are attaching to something which is beyond your comprehension, beyond the mind to comprehend, beyond this physical realm, something which is eternal, that essence which resides within the master itself. To that you are attaching yourself. Understanding that true knowledge, of course, you can attach to that to the master also, but you have to get to know that this physical aspect will disappear one day, but what will stay is that essence, which is what the master have taught you, we have given you. Today we were talking with Swami Revati just after lunch, and yesterday, I was watching some of the old pictures, like 15 years ago, when we were in Stephanshof, and I was looking at Swami Pritala, and I was laughing because he changed a lot. And even yesterday when I was saying to Jiva, oh, this is Swami Pepe, and he said, oh wow, he aged a lot. Sorry, Pepe, if you're listening to that, but but it's true, and I was looking at even him, Samaravati, and everybody. I was saying, wow, everybody changed, And I was looking at myself also in one of the pictures. That, one thing, apart from my hair, I don't think anything has changed really. And it's true. Then he was saying, yes, somebody else also asked him this question. I think it's only that I'm losing hair and it is becoming white. Apart from that, I don't see the difference. So you see, changes does happen. So one day this form will not be here. But what I have teach you, what I have given you, that will always be with you. And when that attachment to the physical, transform into the attachment to the supreme, what I want you to be attached is to the Supreme Lord feet, And if you don't see the difference between the two, then be attached to that. It's fine. And the second part of that question was... can
they have Giridhari's Darshan?
If you can have Giridhari's Darshan, tomorrow I'll bring him for you to have the Darshan.
Dear Guruji, what is your opinion on astrology, numerology, tarot, angel cards, or divination in general?
Sorry, you can
astrology,
repeat the astrology. That's what is my point of view on that. You see, astrology is a very old science. It's not. I don't know how many people really can really do the astrological chart nowadays. Truly how it used to be. But astrology is a very old science. When you look at the Hindu tradition, for example, we see that everything is based on astrology. People will do things, when you have to build a temple, you build a house, or you will start a business, for example, they will always consider, when it's a good time to start something. What you see, when we calculate it in according to in that perspective, this knowledge, this science itself, it shows that in time there is always a good time which will bring you auspiciousness. It will be favorable for you if you start something on that. Like, for example, soon will be Akshatirtha, on the, I think, 26th of April. And Akshatirtha, actually, it is one of the most best date to start anything. Whether you want to start business, study, anything that you start on that particular day, it bears complete positiveness. So you see that on certain days or on certain time, it can be very favorable for somebody. So on that context, astrology help in understanding. So it's not about telling you about your life or whether, because you see, everything is irrelevant, because it's all depend on how you're living your life. If you live your life like a dog, of course you can't expect that tomorrow you'll be an angel. First the change must happen, then you can transform into that angel. But if you have faith in what you are doing truly, and really move in a easy, nicest way, of course things will be nice to you. Everything good will be to you. You can't expect that, you see, because astrology have told you something, it must be like that. So it all depends also upon your ideas of things, how you think about. When you're thinking negative, you can't expect positive to come out of it. Even if the astrology said no, positiveness will come out of it. So first that transformation must happen for positiveness to come out of it. So you see, if you have that belief, very often you see people, they go to astrologer, you want to hear about your astrological chart, they will tell you, firstly, it have happened. I've been to some, like for example, palm reading, in South India, and when I was young. So I wanted to know really if they are right or not. So I've been to the palm reading. So first they ask you, hundreds of questions. You see, be clever about that. First, by asking you so many questions, they know about your life completely. Like it said, tell me, about your, tell me who you keep company to, I will tell you who you are, So they ask you 100 questions, and through that, then they're very clever. They ask you, that you think that, wow, Then they will go, after some time they come back with a chart, they say, yes, we have found the chart. It's all in Sanskrit, you don't understand anything what is written on it, And of course you are so mesmerized, and they start telling you everything that you told them already. So there is nothing new about it. They say very often I like to go around and test all these things also. And they told everything that you already told them. Of course they don't use the same name. They tell you, oh, your father first letter is start like this. But already before they already ask you about that. You already forget about it because there were so many questions asked. So I don't say that everybody is like that. There is some good ones, Once I went to, when I was young, I went to one Indian person, which were from south, from Varanasi actually. He came to Mauritius. Actually now he lives in Mauritius itself. He was the only person who really told me, without asking anything, about me. And yeah, of course, not everything about me, because only things which he could tell, he could see, only that's what he will tell. Once also I went to, one of my auntie, she went to one temple in the middle of Mauritius, and she was so impressed, with the priest, what the priest was telling her. And I said, okay, fine, I would like to go and see also. So I went there, and funny, that priest, he was from South India. He checked for everybody, he could tell. But it come to my point, he said, I could not see anything. I can't see anything. This is strange completely. And that's how I knew, yes, he can't see, because I didn't want him to see. So like that also, you see, astrology can tell you certain things and can put you upon certain direction in life, and of course it can inspire you also. If you believe into that, then it can help you. So then the next thing is
numerology.
Numerology. Of course, numbers, the play of numbers. There is certain people who can truly read about numbers, but not everybody can tell you about numbers. So you have to be really a good numerology person. Then you can calculate, the destiny of somebody. Because you see, your life is not based on numbers. If your life was based on numbers, then why are you living your life? Then count numbers. So if somebody is really good, then they can not predict, they can tell you good things about certain number of your life. Because each number, you see, hold a certain secret. I'm not well known into these numbers things, but very often you will notice certain number which is good for some people, a certain number which is not good for some people. For example, number 13, very often people say it's a very bad number, in the West especially. They will tell you it's a very bad number. Number 6 is terrible as a number, it's for the devil itself, Poor number 6, what has this to do with the devil? It have nothing to do with it. So numbers, of course, hold certain, on the psychological level, it holds a certain strength and power. And for example, in India, we believe very much number 9, But number 9, we have to see why we believe it as number 9, Because this number 9 is a full number. It's a number which you multiply by itself, it will give you always 9. So it is always coming back to the source. It's a representative, but where you come from, you will go back again there. It's about life itself. 108, again, it is 9. So like that, a certain number can represent certain things. Like I was saying, number 13. In the West, people say it is very bad and bring bad luck. For example, for me, number 13 is great, actually. I like it. It is very lucky whenever I use number 13. Wow, can't say. So, and tarot. This is a bit more different from numerology and astrology. Tarot when you do tarot, actually tarot comes from a saint, actually, Saint Bernard of Clairvaux himself, who created the tarot card. It was created in a good way. Actually, it was created during the time when they were going for fighting, or how to take the siege of Constantinople, and to take back Jerusalem, which were captured by the Saracen, all this stuff, So tarot card was created to give a certain direction. Actually, you see, very often you will see that people, they take, if they want to ask a certain question, they take a certain, they have a question, and then they write on a piece of paper, if yes or no, or they will have several yes and several no, and then they will put it in a bag and they will shake it, and then they will take it out. If it is yes, they will have a certain courage inside of them and they will do it. If it is no, then they will not do it. So tarot was also an interpretation of what can be. It is how is this word, man? Oh, in this moment I wish the devotee was here. So, estimation of probabilities, So this is, due to that estimation, people to do. They used to do it in that way. I'm talking about in 13th century. I'm not talking now. Of course, throughout times, tarot card have changed its why it was created. It had become a thing of to divinate, to predict the future, and to tell people about what will happen. But you have to see, throughout time, this have come to a certain notion of having certain energy into it. Actually, these energy, it can be good or it can be bad energy. So, utilizing this, you are also working with a world which is unknown to you. Very often people who work in that, if they don't know about it, maybe you have just done a course, say, yes, it's so beautiful, I will do it. If you don't know what you are doing, which energy you're working with, it can be very dangerous for you and for the people which you are thinking you're helping. So you see what and how you're interpreting also, it's very important. Sometimes people interpret it in a positive way, if you have that positivity inside of you. But if you don't have that person which is have negativity into it, they will interpret it also according to what they have inside. So people view things according to what they see. Like I said to you, very often with these game, there's also a spirit attached to it, very often. And which one thing is that one have to be very careful. Because if you adventure into that, like Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, verse 25, you see, those who worship the ancestors goes to the ancestors. Those who worship the ghosts go to ghosts, And those who worship me come to me. you know. So you see, this is a reminder also of what you're playing with, you know, which energy you're playing with, you know. So bear in mind, you see, when you create a certain attachment to things, you know, you will go back to that. There are very often people, they become so dependent upon that, these things, you know, but they get stuck to it. I say, like Krishna said, you know, those who worship ancestors, they will go to the ancestors because you have that faith into you, this ancestry way of things, you know. Those who worship the ghosts, you know, automatically spirit and entities, all this stuff which is linked very often to that, you know, you will go back to this because you have built a relationship to them. So when you build a relationship to these entities and the spirit, of course they would like to have you. But those who built a relationship to God, they will attain God himself. Yeah. So bear in mind that this can be also very dangerous. Depend upon how one is using it. You know? So very often people use these things, you know, for what reason? It is for material gain. You know? Again, you know, in the Gita itself, in the same verse, Krishna said, you know, those who worship the devas go to the devas. The devas and supply everything which is material, you know, everything which is built upon something which is tangible, you know. So those who long for that, you know, they believe in that, they will go to that spheres of the deva. They will go back again into nature, back again into this plan, you know, whether it is lower plan or other plan, but it is not permanent. So due to this aim which you are focusing upon, that will become your reality. So you see, tarot card also gives that kind of attachment and reality. So understand that firstly.
Angel cards.
Tarot card, angel card is the same. You know, angel card is just mostly more positive. So it's not different between the tarot card. Angels, then we talk about angels right now. You see, very often the angel cards give you nice and positive affirmation. You know, that's what you call angel cards. Actually, it is positive affirmation. So start make you think positive and give you a certain direction in life, which is in a positive way. So an angel card will not tell you tomorrow you will die. You know, so you will not have this hanging man, you know, like in tarot card, but it gives you mostly a positive affirmation about your life itself.
And divination in general.
And divination in general. You see, everybody, you know, would like to know about their future. Who will not know? Who will not like to know what will be tomorrow? Everybody will know. But does somebody really know what will be tomorrow? No. You know, last year, do you know that today we will be sitting inside, inside your house, you will not be able to go out? No, you didn't know. So it is how it have to be. You know, so it's not about being. Some people have the gift to perceive things, you know, and to see things. Of course, these people are quite rare, and. If you ever find somebody, you know, who will not just tell you things which is pleasing to you, because very often people like this, you know, they go to people who like to tell them things which make them feel good, but that will not help you, you know, because you see, as much as you think that this will help you, it is putting you in a trap, and that trap is you are getting more dependent upon, because you see, it's beautiful words, beautiful telling you what you want to hear, but they can't give you protection for that, you know. Of course they will tell you, yes, you know, if you do this and that. I have met many people like that, but why they do that very often nowadays? They do that because they want their money, they want your money, you know, because they pay a lot of money, you know. So they will tell you many stories. It happened to me once. I was in San Francisco, and we were passing. I remember tell Pepe about it. And we were passing by this. We were walking. And we were passing by this corridor. Not corridor. What is it? On the main road, there was this. Oh, come! We'll read. There's people who are clairvoyants, whatever they call. I said, Pepe, I want to go inside. And I said, okay, fine. I went in, and the lady was a very nice lady, and very sweet, and I sit there. I was dressed normal. And the lady started and said, oh, I said, where are you from? First I said Mauritius. She didn't know where Mauritius is. And she said, okay. I said India. Okay, fine. Ah, yes, I can see you work in a computer field, and you're engineer, whatever. And I was looking at that, me, computer? I have no idea about computer. If Pankaj don't help me with the electronic, it's very difficult for me. Even my phone itself, I was so happy to learn very much about the remote control for the TV. So that was my latest learning about that. Because I don't have any interest into that. So then she was saying that I'm a great computer freak. I said, well, I don't know anything about computer. And then she was saying, oh, you will married, your wife is beautiful, and then you will have 3 children. And I said, you sure you're looking about me? And I said, I don't have only 3 children. I have thousands of children. Maybe you don't see that. No. But you see, people see what the projection, what they have inside of them. They are not telling you about yourself, they're telling you about themselves. So just be careful. Like I said to you, the saints, when they tell you something, have full faith into that. Even if the saints tell you that your future will be like this and like this, which often the saints don't do, because they let things happen how it meant to happen. So they will not go and tell you about your future or your past itself. What the use of staying in the past or have memory for have anxiety for the future? No, it's not. You have to be in the present moment. So when you lived in that present moment, you can really appreciate what God have given you. So that's why the saints and the gurus don't talk about these things. So if it is meant to be, if it said, okay, something I can change, then I will do it. But not for the sake of, yes, go against the law of nature. I'll tell you a beautiful story. You see, during the Mahabharata war, just before, 2 days before the Mahabharata war, Krishna, you see, the Kurukshetra was a forest. So they have to uproot the trees, you have to remove the trees and so on to make places. So as they were uprooting the trees, they used the big elephant and everything. So the elephant will come just with a trunk and uproot the tree and just put it away. So when they were doing that, on one of the tree there was a sparrow who had 4 little babies. So when the tree was uprooted, the nest fell down, and luckily the babies were all fine. So the mother sparrow, seeing that, said, how can I protect my babies? And she saw Krishna and Arjun inspecting around, and the mother felt, he is the Supreme Lord, let me take shelter to him. So she flew to Krishna and praised Krishna and said, Krishna, you are the Lord of the universe, you are the Supreme Lord himself. Please help me. Help my babies, help us, because the tree have fallen down and soon will be the war and we will all be crushed down and finished, we will be dead. Krishna said to the sparrow mother, no, I can't help you. I have to let nature carry on the way it has to be. If it's meant for you to die, you will die. If it's meant for you to live, you will live. But I should not interfere into the realm of Mother Nature itself, So then the sparrow said, you are the Supreme Lord, you are the Savior, and I have come and take shelter to you. You do whatever you want. You want me to die, you want me and my children to die, we will die. If you want to save us, it's all in your hand, So Krishna was pleased with the faith that the sparrow had in him. And Krishna said to the sparrow, collect food for the next 21 days. So within the 2 days, so the sparrow, when the sparrow was in front of Krishna, of course Arjuna saw a sparrow and was trying to push the sparrow. Of Krishna was smiling. So the sparrow collected the food, and after 2 days, the war started. So before the war, before they start blowing the conch, and making loud noise, Krishna asked Arjun for his Gandhiva. And said, please Arjun, give me your Gandhiva, give me your bow. And Arjun said, what do you want the bow for? Tell me, I will do it for you, if you want to shoot something or someone, I'll do that for you. I said, no, just give me. So he took the bow from Arjun, and he took an arrow, and he shot an elephant. Not to kill the elephant, just shot the neck of the elephant where the bell was kept, was hanging. So he shot that arrow. The bell fell down, covering the nest and the babies. And it gave back to, back the bow to Arjun. Arjun was laughing, saying, okay, if you wanted to shoot the elephant, you could have just asked me, I would have shot it. You even shot, but you miss the target. Krishna didn't answer anything. So the war carried on 18 days. So after 18 days, Krishna and Arjun were walking and was inspecting again. Many bodies was laying down there, and everywhere was bodies and dead people. So arriving on the spot, Krishna saw a metal thing, a bell, and he said to Arjun, Arjun, lift that belt. And Arjun looked at Krishna and was wondering, why you want me to lift that belt? There's so many things to do, you want me to lift that belt. And Krishna said, no, you lift that belt. So insisting, Arjun went there and tried to lift the belt. And it was so heavy. So as he lifted a little bit, 4 little birds flew out from under the belt. And the mother sparrow also flew out. And the mother flew around Krishna in gratitude. But Krishna have saved her and her little birds, baby birds. And then Arjun recognized that belt and said, this is the belt from the elephant. He said, yes. Krishna said, yes, this is the belt of the elephant. So you were protecting these birds, And Krishna said, yes, She came and asked me for protection. And said, what about the elephant? I said, well, that elephant, it was that elephant who uprooted the tree. That's why I hate it. But I didn't want it to kill him. So like that, you see, when you take shelter to the feet of the beloved, even the impossible, he will make it possible. Even how your life used to be, even what have meant to be, it is not in your hand. It is in his hand. When you take shelter to him, when you surrender to him, you are in his grace, and he look after you. He care for you. He protect you. He transform everything into your life. So this is a beautiful story of surrendering. Don't surrender to these things, but surrender to the Supreme Lord Himself, which is there for you, so that you can attain Him and really be free from this cycle of birth and death. Because otherwise, everything else will keep holding you here, because everything else is held by Maya. But those who surrender to the Beloved, they transform, into divine. So you attain that ultimate freedom, not a freedom which the Deva will give you, but the freedom which is only the ultimate Lord Himself can give you. Jai Gurudev.